What's up, everybody? Josh Cannon back again. Sorry it's been a while. I just wanted to make this video here because on January 16th, 2021, it will have been 6 years since I've been on YouTube making videos, trying to make this channel a success. And over that time period, I have definitely made some videos that have garnered a little bit of controversy. And, you know, since I'm a masochist, I figured it'd be fun to go through some of my more popular or controversial videos and kind of respond to the general feelings about these said videos. Unsurprisingly, the more controversial my videos were, the more views that they tended to get. That's human nature for you. I don't know. You go figure it out how that works. As soon as a light is shined into your dark corner of YouTube, if you're a smaller YouTuber like myself, you're going to get a lot more of the general public start to see your stuff, and a lot more of the negative opinions are going to start flowing in, because it's not just your small little fan base anymore. Now, you know, grandma and some dude from Ecuador is seeing your video, and they're probably not going to agree with what you have to say. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go through my videos that were super controversial and had a lot of people giving the hate, or not. We'll see. Starting with the first one. Well, that was awkward. Bill Burr in the H3H3 podcast incident. 2,900 likes, 4,500 dislikes. So with more than 250,000 views, this was definitely an unexpected success, I guess you could say, for my channel. So for those of you who don't know, H3H3 is this YouTuber who does a lot of like meme culture kind of videos. He did that Vape Nation video that got some write-up in some magazine or something, and he just, you know, clowns on people. He eventually started his own podcast that has been universally panned by most people, and yeah, I agree, it's not very good at all. He kind of started off as a beloved figure on YouTube and kind of ran into some controversy here and there. And so he had this podcast. And then you got comedian Bill Burr, who most people already know from Stand Up, The Chappelle Show, F is for Family, Breaking Bad. He's done a lot of shit, Mandalorian, whatever. So I've been listening to Bill Burr's podcast since like 2008, and I loved his podcast. I kind of got invested in him as a person. So when I saw that he was going to be on H3H3's podcast, it was literally like the old school of comedy meeting the new school of comedy. Like, here you got Ethan with his memes and his, you know, whatever the hell, and then you got Bill Burr with his old school stand-up style of comedy, and I thought to myself, this is going to be an absolute train wreck, because I already knew that Bill Burr was kind of an asshole in general. And I knew that Ethan was kind of on the sensitive side when it came to taking criticism. And yeah, I was exactly right. The podcast was fucking awkward as hell to watch. I wanted to make a video about it because it was so awkward. I felt like I could just really weigh in with my opinions. It's my channel, and that's all it was just my opinions on how awkward everything was. What I didn't realize was just how rabid H3H3's fanboys were going to be, and they found the video and proceeded to call me every homosexual slur in the book, every you live in your mom's basement slur. Cringe is a word that was thrown around a lot in the comment section. I guess people's main problem with the video was, I guess they thought it was going to be a clips compilation, and it was, you know, me giving my commentary while using some of his clips. And I guess they just weren't interested in my opinions. Or they thought I was wrong because I wasn't kissing Ethan's ass and getting onto Bill Burr or whatever. I don't think I was really on either one of their sides too much, but it was fun seeing Bill Burr take the piss out of Ethan, and just how the old stereotype of how millennials are sensitive snowflakes, and how Bill kind of proved that to be true, because Bill got under Ethan's skin so fast and so easily. It was almost like crazy to see how easily Ethan could be shook. Because, I mean, Bill Burr, you know, coming from like the Boston and New York comedy scene where breaking each other's balls is just a rite of passage. There's no thin skin in that community. But I feel like with the internet culture and the YouTubers who do all that kind of stuff, I feel like their skin is a lot thinner than they would have you think. And that was proven on that podcast. I think that was kind of the point I was trying to bring up. I think I got lost somewhere in there, and people just kind of hated on the video. My one regret about making that video is that I was kind of making fun of Ethan for being this guy who's everything's got to be ironic, bro. All nothing. You can't genuinely like anything. Ethan's always just everything's. He ironically likes something, like making fun of Papa John's or whatever. And in that video, I'm wearing a fucking baby blue shirt that says I'm dead inside, and it's got like unicorns and pixies and shit on it. I was literally doing I was the embodiment of the very thing I was making fun of Ethan for. And for that, I felt like a big fucking doofus, and everybody pointed it out in the comments. And on that note, I will absolutely agree with them. That was completely stupid on my part. That shirt was like an impulse buy from Hot Topic. I don't know why a 30-something-year-old was going into Hot Topic buying those shirts. But I think I'm donating that shirt to Goodwill because like I literally I don't want to wear it because it's just, I don't know, it is cringy. I agree, comment section, it was cringy. I felt like exchanging it for this salmon pink shirt with this nice blue highlight in my hair is a much more mature choice for a 32-year-old. Phil Collins, it's time to retire. 200 likes, 271 dislikes. So this video that I made, I feel like was seen by people, even though no one used the term. I feel like this was viewed as a concern troll video, where you basically act like you're making the video because you truly care about someone's well-being, but in all actuality, you're just taking the opportunity to punch down or kick them while they're down or whatever. I'm not punching down on Phil Collins. He's way bigger than I'll ever be. But that's not why I made the video, believe it or not, despite what everyone would say in the comment section of that video. That one's kind of divided because half the comment section is like, oh, I'm right there with you. I totally agree. I feel like Phil should retire and blah, blah, blah. And then the other half of the video is like, fuck you, who are you to say what Phil Collins should be doing with his life? You're a nobody and you'll never be even a quarter as good as Phil Collins is and was, and I think he sounds great. And basically it was Phil Collins hardcore sycophantic fans defending him no matter what, not using any kind of reasonable doubt or like maybe he shouldn't be like out touring anymore, or even like contemplating the exchange of ideas, like how old should one be in the music world before it's time for them to retire. I personally feel like it's a sliding scale. If you can still go out and do it, then by all means do it until you fall over on stage from a heart attack. Like Mick Jagger from the Rolling Stones is still kicking ass, but their music is a lot more simpler than even Phil Collins' solo music. But, I mean, just go and watch my damn video, dude. Phil Collins is just, like, looking rough these days. He's looking haggard as hell, and he can't play drums anymore. He can't sing, really, anymore. And it's just sad now. I mean, it really is. Like, that's all I can say. But, dude, I said that coming from a place of, like, truly loving everything that he's ever fucking done. I mean, Genesis being one of my favorite bands of all time, even when he was fronting the band. I mean, I would say I like the albums where he's fronting the band more than I liked the Gabriel years. And I'm not just talking about Invisible Touch or the times where they were popular. So, I mean, it really wasn't one of those videos where I was trying to, like, TMZ style, like, take the piss out of Phil Collins. It was literally like, dude, man, like, I love you to death, but, like, it's not good. Like, objectively, it's not good anymore what you're doing live. Like, and you don't need to be doing it anymore. Now, I've since heard people in the comment section on that video, they're saying things like, some guy was like, I work closely with Phil, and they're basically keeping him on the road to keep him sober because he later in his life he became an alcoholic, going through all the divorce shit and not seeing his kids and this, that, and the other. So they were basically saying that he's on the road now, basically just to give him something to do, and so he doesn't go back to hitting the bottle. I mean, I feel like there's a lot better ways of staying sober than throwing someone on the road and making them perform in front of a bunch of people, but that's just me. And again, at the end of the day, this was like just an opinion piece video. This was like an editorial. This was my specific opinion about Phil Collins. I am not an authority on Phil Collins. I'm not Phil Collins' daddy. It's not like I can be like, Phil, this is Josh, some nobody loser in Jacksonville, Florida. You have to stop touring. You have to retire. I wasn't saying that. It was just like, in my opinion, you are kind of tarnishing the end years with these performances. There's a point where shit gets embarrassing. When you admit there's a point where your grandfather's walking out of the bathroom butt-ass naked and it's just like sad at that point and you need to like put him in a nursing home. I mean, everybody reaches that point in their life. I'm not saying Phil Collins is that bad, but I'm saying, performance-wise, not so much anymore. Pink Floyd, all albums ranked. 121 likes, 183 dislikes. So I started doing these like tier list ranking videos about a year ago, I think, and they were basically, those videos basically saved my channel in a way, because I was getting really burnt out on doing those long form documentary style videos that took like days to produce, where I was like writing scripts and having to source all these images and videos online to put into my video to show as reference to what I'm talking about. And it was just literally every time I would start a YouTube video, it felt like a fucking homework assignment, like I was writing like a report or something. So I started doing these fun little tier list videos where I took bands that I really loved and knew a lot about, and I ranked their albums from A to F, essentially. Sometimes the D tier would be the lowest tier and you wouldn't have F. But so I went through like 3 of my top favorite bands first. I think I started with Genesis, and then I went to Rush, and then I went to Pink Floyd. Now I know a great deal about Pink Floyd, but I guess my blind spot with that video was not truly going back and listening to like their first like 4 or 5 or 6 albums, because a lot of people in the comment section of that video was really like railing on me. And when I started to really read all of the comments, like I went back and watched the video, I put like their first 4 albums in the D tier. And that's because, like, me personally, like, I don't like them that much, and I don't really like psychedelic music that much, and that's basically what their first few albums was this, like, psychedelic, experimental kind of pop rock music, and I just didn't like it. But I guess I should have had more respect for, like, the historical significance of the first few Pink Floyd records and Syd Barrett's contributions, because I couldn't believe when I went back and watched the video after everyone just negatively commenting, I couldn't believe I put like their first 4 or 5 albums in the lowest tier that possible. And then as soon as like Dark Side of the Moon comes up, S tier, fucking Animals, S tier, Wish You Were Here, S tier, The Wall, S tier, and then everything after that was like really highly rated. But like their first few albums, I just really railed against and did not like very much at all, and that rubbed a lot of Pink Floyd fans the wrong way, and so that video has definitely been downvoted a lot, and a lot of just nothing but negative comments on that one. There's a few people in there who agree with me, but for the most part it's just nothing but hatred. Which new metal album is best? Tool, Rammstein, Korn, or Slipknot? 74 likes, 105 dislikes. Alright, this was a time in 2019 when, like, the 4 big bands of my childhood released new albums at, like, around the same time. Like, fucking Korn, Tool, Rammstein, Slipknot. And I was like, wow, this is like crazy. I need to do a video on these 4 new albums by these bands that were around, or I should say they all hit their peak around the same years, from like 98 to like 2003. Like that 5-year span was when all those bands released their most critically acclaimed material and were most loved. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to do a video on them. And another thing that people don't realize, I guess, that watched that video was that there was a time back in like the late 90s, early 2000s where all of those bands were lumped into the nu metal category. Believe it or not, I did not make that up. But the number one comment that I always get, the number one hate and critique I always get on this video is, Tool's not nu metal, Slipknot's not nu metal, Rammstein's not nu metal. And people are like really pissed off about it. And I understand, like, from like getting into the nitty gritty of like labeling like exactly what genre these bands are. Like Tool is definitely not a nu metal band. They never have been. Slipknot, I will argue, is nu metal. Korn invented the nu metal genre, so you can fuck off with that one. Rammstein's not nu metal. Rammstein's more metal / industrial. So I'll give you Tool and Rammstein, but I still stand on Korn and Slipknot. But I kind of reviewed the Korn, Tool, and Slipknot albums, Not So Great, and I kind of gave the award to Rammstein. Looking back at that video, I went in with a huge bias towards Rammstein because Rammstein was the only band out of those 4 that I still actively listen to and genuinely like. There were times at all points in my life where I loved each one of these bands. Like I loved Korn in junior high. I loved Tool up until like 2005. When they released 10,000 Days, that album just really didn't do anything for me. And Slipknot, I've just kind of on and off liked a couple of their songs throughout time. There was never really one album that I was like, yes, that album. But Rammstein is and was one of my favorite bands. So I kind of went in with a huge bias towards them. And you know, that was unfair if I'm like comparing which one's best, already knowing that I only listen actively still to one of those bands. And another adjustment I guess I would make on that video is I really like tore into Korn's new album at the time. I was criticizing Jonathan Davis's lyric writing because I was like, dude, this guy's like in his like late 40s and he's still talking about the pain and the suffering, grr, I'm so mad. You know, like the same lyrical style he was doing when he was like, you know, 20 years younger. But then it was pointed out to me, and I didn't realize this, and I'm only laughing because it was fucking such an awkward omission on my part. Apparently Jonathan Davis's like wife and mom died like that year or the year before. And so, yeah, he had some feelings going on. Like he was not in a good place mentally. Had I known that, I wouldn't have like, you know, clowned on his lyrics so much, but I just didn't know it. I fucked up, I guess. That Tool album still royally sucks, though. Apple is overrated. Why I left the Apple cult. 13,000 likes, 3,300 dislikes. So, with almost 500,000 views, and easily my most viewed video on my channel, this video is generally liked by people. Or people generally agree with what I had to say, apparently. I remember going, like, cleaning out my room, and I looked under my bed, and I had, like, all these Apple boxes. Because when you buy an Apple product, the box and the packaging is immaculate. Like, the box is nice, and it's got this nice white matte finish, and the cardboard is really, like, high quality and super thick, and it just has this premium feel. And even their devices have a super premium feel. But I just kind of started thinking about, like, first of all, how great of a thumbnail stacking all those Apple boxes on top of each other was going to be. But then I also started thinking about, like, just how fucking limited Apple devices are. Just as far as, like, when you buy an Apple product, everything is kind of like insulated in this metallic casing that you can't get into to really customize, and how kind of limited their products are for how expensive they are and how much you're paying for, and how easy it is to get like roped into Apple's ecosystem. And when I started thinking about all that, I was like, man, I have a lot of grievances with like the Apple company in general, and it would just be fun to make a video about it and just bitch and moan about it. You know, this was just going to be another one of my weekly videos that I put out. I was having a churn amount. I was trying to do every week at that point. I still kind of am, but the holidays have kind of slowed me down. But I was trying to really stick to that like one video per week formula. So the Apple video was going to be just yet another video of mine that I did. I had no idea that it was going to pick up so much fucking momentum. Like, good Lord. That video, almost 500,000 views. For my channel with like 6,000 subscribers, that's like pretty unheard of for a channel that small to have a video that large with that many views or whatever. But yeah, there are so many passionate arguments in that comment section, and I just I just took my hands off it and backed away into the shrubs like Homer Simpson, because I was like, there are so many techie arguments going on in that comment section, and there's like, you know, little sub conversations under comments that have like 100 replies and shit, and it's just like, damn, all right. I'm just gonna let you guys run with that. I'm glad that you're not mad at me. Have fun discussing that. I still think Apple's overrated, by the way, but it is what it is. I like iPhones, I guess. It's just what I'm fucking used to. I don't know. So I hope you enjoyed this video talking about my more controversial videos. I hope it scratched that itch in case you ever want to know any inside info on this. I mean, God knows, any of these videos I bring up, or I brought up tonight, I still get comments on them all the time with people chiming in and calling me a idiot or a bunch of other politically incorrect shit that I don't feel like saying right now because I don't want to get demonetized. But if you want to see for yourself, just go check out any one of the videos. I'll put the links to all these videos in the description of this video. Hope you had a Merry Christmas. Yes, that's what time I'm making this video around, for those of you in the future watching this. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment, and until next time, have a good rest of your night.